Let us reduce algebraic fractions using the prime factor method. We're going to explain what it means to reduce algebraic fractions. We're going to also examine the steps in reducing algebraic fractions using the prime factor method, and then we will reduce algebraic fractions using that method based on the steps that we've highlighted. So reducing algebraic fractions is the process of rewriting the fraction in its simplest form. Now here are the steps using the prime factor method. We want to write the numerator and denominator as a product of its prime factors. We will cancel the common terms and then reduce or divide as needed, and then the result of all that work we've done will be the simplest fraction or the reduced form of the original fraction. So we have 4x over 6y. So let's go ahead and get 4. This is 2 and 2. 6, we have 2 and 3. So 4x over 6y is going to be 2 times 2 times x over 2 times 3 times x. Actually, we have y in this case, so let's go ahead and make y. So now we say we cancel common terms. So we have, this is a common term up here, common term down here. So we have 2 times x is 2x, 3 times y is 3y. So that is what we have for the answer. Now we have 243 pq squared. So let's go ahead and figure out for 243. We have 3 and 81. We have 3 and 27. We have 3 and 9. We have 3 and 3. Now 360, we have 2 and 180. We have 2 and 90. We have 2 and 45. We have 3 and 15. And we have 3 and 5. So now we're going to rewrite this 243 pq squared divided by 360 pq. 243 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times p times q times q divided by 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times p times q. So now let's go ahead and cancel common terms. So 3 crosses this out, 3 crosses this out, p crosses out p over here, q crosses out q over here. So now we're left with 3 times 3 times 3 times q over 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, which is going to give us 3 times 3 times 3 is 27q divided by 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8, times 5, 40. That's our final answer. Now 75, we have 3 and 25, and then 25 we have 5 and 5. Then we have 90 is 2 and 45. 45 we have 3 and 15. And 15 we have 3 and 5. So 75 a squared b over 90 a b squared is going to be equal to 3 times 5 times 5 times a times b over 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times A times B times B. So let's cross out common terms. We have 3 and 3, 5 and 5, A and A, B and B. This is going to be 5 times A over 2 times 3 times B, which is going to give us 5A over 6B. And then finally, let's get to 45. We have 3 and 15, and 15 breaks down to 3 and 5. 60, we have 2 and 30. We have 2 and 15, and then we have 3 and 5. So 45 p squared q squared r over 60 pr squared is going to be 3 times 3 times 5 times p times p times q times q times r divided by 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times p times r times r. So let's cross out common terms. 3 crosses out 3, 5 crosses out 5, p crosses out p, r crosses out r. So now we have 3 times p times q times q over 2 times 2 times r. So this is going to give us 3pq squared divided by 4r. That's the final answer.